Hi, welcome to the Black Experience Japan's Melanated Files. The purpose of this series is to highlight the black people living in Japan. Who are they?
Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Chipa Mwenya, the only half Zambian and half Japanese photographer, blogger and image retoucher here in Tokyo, Japan. And I've been living here for the past 8 years. Currently, I work in a real estate agency for foreigners here in Japan and also coming to Japan for the very first time. So the company's name is called Sakura House. So this is a company that's been running for the past 25 years, welcoming residents from over 100 countries. And the reason why it's so easy to use this agency is because if you want to rent out an apartment or share house or a dormitory, all you need is like emergency contacts from your country. You can use your mom's information or your dad's information, and you just need a valid passport and a visa, and you just pay for the rent. And basically, you don't have so many initial costs. And this is what really helps foreigners because they're coming in for the first time, probably financially wise, they're not yet stable. So it's a really good option to use Sakura House. Based on my personal experience as an African coming here to Japan, I think one of the major struggles they come across is the language barrier. And unfortunately, you come across many Africans. That this is my personal experience, so it could be different from yours. They don't really put so much emphasis on learning the language, even learning conversational Japanese. So they struggle so hard, and as a result, they actually experience some what can I say, some stigma. Sometimes they experience some racism just because they couldn't communicate in the Japanese language. The other challenge I experienced personally is looking for accommodation here in Japan, because in Japan the way the rule and the regulations are set, if you don't have a visa that covers 2 years of your stay, a minimum of 2 years, it's really hard to receive an apartment or any form of accommodation. So I found it really hard to get an apartment. Just the fact that I was a foreigner, and being a foreigner, you don't have a Japanese guarantor, and this is what really puts off most real estate agencies. And yeah, this is one of the major problems that the foreigners have coming here to Japan. And not only that, it's also the language barrier. They can't communicate. They don't know what's written in the contract, and this kind of puts off the realtors. Yeah. Before I explain my experience here in Japan, I first have to explain to you guys the main reason I came here to Japan is because back in Zambia, growing up, I had this identity complex because people didn't really see me as a Zambian or as an African because of my skin complexion, and people used to think I was a Chinese, and they actually gave me a nickname, Choncholi. Choncholi is basically a term referring to Asian or Chinese. So I kind of felt left out, and the other issues, and I couldn't really speak the local language, even though English is the main language in Zambia because we used to be a British colony. And I felt really left out, and the fact that my mother was Japanese, I just decided one day, okay, let me travel to Japan, probably find out my other identity. Maybe I could feel part of a society. And yeah, I came to Japan at the age of 18, and actually I thought being here in an Asian country, Japan, because people back in Zambia thought I was Asian or Japanese or Chinese, I thought I'd probably fit in. But actually, when I came to Japan, that's when I really realized that I was African in the inside. Yeah, so I know I tried so hard to blend in, but I think I reached a point okay, instead of blending in, why can't I just stand out? Like I mentioned before, the language barrier was one of the main issues when I came here. And the fact that I couldn't speak any Japanese, even though people didn't really comment where you're from or say you look different, I could just feel this stigma in a way. And just the fact that I couldn't really communicate with people at the first time, then I made it my main goal to learn the language, to brushing up on sounding native. And I think actually trying to sound native in Japanese is actually what helps you kind of blend in into the society. Of course, they won't accept you 100%, but just kind of blend in compared to most people. I think trying to sound native or trying to learn the conversational Japanese part is what really helped me, like, you know, blending the society and not blending, but kind of, you know, communicate with people on a, like, on a social level, and that made me feel kind of part of the society and at home. Yeah.
You said while you were in Zambia, you thought they never saw you as a Zambian.
Yeah.
Then when you came to Japan, they never really saw you as Japanese.
Yeah.
So what do you say is your identity? Like Chipa, who are you?
So actually, to be honest with you, that even up to today is a really tricky question. If someone had to approach me and say, okay, Chipa, who are you, or like, you know, where are you from? No, now the first thing I say is I'm African. I'm a black African from Zambia, but you know, I have a Japanese mother and a Zambian father. So I don't really, like, you know, pick a certain side. I just say I'm like the best of both worlds, or if I have to, like, you know, keep it in one word or like one like term, I would say I'm African. Yeah. Japanese people are really kind, you know, don't get me wrong, they're really kind. But coming from Zambia, coming from Africa, I feel they're kind. People assume that, yeah, they're really open-hearted and everything, but to be honest with you, I think they're really closed-hearted. Like, I can give like an example. For example, let's say if you get lost, yeah, you probably find a random Japanese, you know, coming up to you, you know, trying to help you. But if they had to maybe support you in some way, that's when the conditions start to come into play. And I think that's the huge difference between my country and Japan, is that, you know, in Zambia, even though you have nothing, if you meet the most poorest person, they'll be really kind and they'll offer you anything that they have. If that was their last meal or something, they'll probably offer it to you. But here in Japan, I don't really feel that, like, you know, open-heartedness. Yeah. The one thing I really like about Japan, like, is just the work ethic. I'm coming from Zambia. The people are really chilled, really relaxed. It's a good thing to, you know, to be relaxed and, you know, take life easy. But probably, like, on a business level, if you're gonna, like, you know, become an influencer, you need to really have that, you know, good, like, you know, work ethic, you know, being on time, never being late, keeping to schedule. And I think Japanese society is really, I think that's the society. The whole society is built on that, to be honest. And I think I've adopted, you know, this habit of course, sometimes I'm late, you know, that's part of my African DNA. So, but, like, you know, I've developed this, you know, work ethic of, you know, being on time, you know, working. Sometimes people say I'm a workaholic, but, you know, just putting, you know, the effort is what, you know, I think you can develop, you know, living in this country. Yeah, just the work ethic. Yeah. My favorite Japanese food, wow, that's a really tricky question. I think my favorite Japanese food is soba. So it's basically made from a buckwheat, and it's just actually really healthy, to be honest. And yeah, soba, you have cold soba, like dipped in some like some broth in a way. Yeah, it's one of my favorite healthy foods. Yeah. One of my main goals, my main missions, actually, being an African, being a Zambian here in Japan, is actually I have to explain a bit about this. So when I first came to Japan, and I told people that, you know, I was from Africa, I was from Zambia, especially Zambia, people were like, what is a Zambia? They didn't even consider it as a country. So that really got me angry and really pissed off. You know, because, like, you know, for example, Zambia, we have, you know, one of the biggest waterfalls, the Victoria Falls, and I was like, you know, we have this amazing, like, you know, thing in our country, and you don't know this. But I think that was kind of selfish on my part. And, you know, basically, you know, Japan in general, especially the media, they really portray this, you know, negative image about, you know, African, about Zambia, about, like, people wanting to have, like, donations, like, you know, poor people. I'm not saying that's wrong. It is true, but, you know, you kind of have to balance it with showing also the good sides. So my main goal here in Japan is, because, you know, I really want, you know, people back home to know, like, you know, this, you know, beautiful country. So I, you know, I go around with my, you know, my Nigerian friend and also my Canadian friend. We travel around in Japan, you know, showcasing, like, you know, beautiful places like Mount Fuji and so on, and showcasing that back in our home country, so people have an idea of, like, you know, what Japan is. And I just want to lead by example, you know, show the Japanese media that, you know, most of the time you guys, you know, portray a negative side about Africa, but, you know, you could do what I'm doing, you know, showing a positive side and kind of balancing it up. Yeah. The best advice I've ever received is there is no courage without fear. There's no courage without fear. So basically, this means that, you know, you basically have to put yourself in a situation where like you're kind of like uncomfortable and kind of scared of doing a certain maybe thing or like act, because without that you won't develop this courage to say like, look, okay, even though I'm scared, I'm gonna go out there, have this positive mindset. So I think that's one of the best advice I've ever received. And the worst advice I've ever received is blending. Chipa, don't try to stand out. You don't want to you don't want people to look at you in a weird way. But I'm like, the fact that I'm half Japanese and half Zambian, I think it's my goal, my fate, to stand out, be a pioneer, lead by example. Encourage the next generation. That kid back at home watching probably my vlogs, my pictures, to encourage them to like be unique, try something new, and take the risk. Yeah. One message I could probably give you guys is life is short. You don't know what can happen in the next minute or the next hour or even tomorrow. So what I would recommend is life is short. Take the risk. Try something new. And break the routine. You can't keep to the daily routine. Try something different. For example, if you wake up on the left side of the bed, wake up on the right. Those small things daily is going to change your life completely. Yeah. So I think the one piece of good advice I could give Africans coming to Japan is don't try to blending or try to fit into societies, because you already being from Africa, you're unique. So you should take that as an advantage and try to stand out. And of course, you want to communicate efficiently with the Japanese people. So please, before coming to Japan or while in Japan, please put the effort to learn some conversational Japanese terms. For example, greetings, saying goodbyes and so on. You don't have to go as far as learn the kanji. Just learn the basic Japanese, because just that alone can help you get new friends, make new communication, new contacts, new networks. So yeah, please, when you come to Japan, try not to blend in and learn the language. Learn the language. Yeah. If you wanna follow me, or if you wanna contact me, you can follow me on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. So if you're gonna be typing right now, my ID is on Instagram. It's at Chipa Mwenya. So that's CHIPAMWENYA. So at Mark Chipa Mwenya. And if you guys frequently watch YouTube videos, you can just type in Chipa Mwenya with the space in between my first and last name. And same thing on Facebook, just type out Chipa Mwenya and you can come across my profile. And yeah, please send me a DM. I'm really looking forward to making new connections, meeting positive people like you and you.
Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to see weekly videos about the Black experience in Japan, feel free to subscribe to this channel. If you know someone that would like to be featured, or if you yourself would like to be featured, send us a message on our Facebook page at The Black Experience Japan, or send us a tweet on Twitter at TheBlackXJP. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.